Hey, everybody, welcome to Offensive. It's a hype-free edition where it's all content and no information whatsoever. And I'm here with Chief. Hype couldn't make it today. He's out doing hype stuff in his fur coat, so it's just us today. So we're going to talk football anyway. Dave, we got a bunch of awesome games coming up this weekend. I'm super stoked. You want to just get into it? You want to do it?
Oh, yeah, let's get into it. This is a beautiful week for football.
It is a
Let's go.
beautiful week for football. So, okay. So let's go here and either one. Okay. So, I mean, dude, even Jets Patriots is kind of interesting just because the Jets have won 2 games now, 2 of their last 3. The Patriots look like they're beating the crap out of everybody, but this is an interdivision matchup where anything could happen, and it's on a Thursday. But, Patriots kick their butt. And, what do we think? Do we think the Patriots are kind of unstoppable right now?
A lot of people, fantasy and whatnot, they were waiting for TreVeyon Henderson. They said last week was his breakout week. They said, oh, he got 3 touchdowns yesterday. Tried to get super hyped for it. And he did good. He didn't really bust anything through, but he had it was 0.6 yards before first contact.
Yeah.
So the line wasn't doing squat for him. He got 2.4 yards after contact, which is an elite, but at least it's moving the ball forward. He's still able to get those touchdowns. But I think that's kind of what Josh McDaniels is going to do. Just keep trying to run it up the gut. They didn't go outside nearly as often as I'd hoped, but at least it's nice to know that, yeah, he made a lot of great pass blocks in there too. He went up to the line. He blew up linebackers, bought time for Drake May. I thought all in all, it looked like a pretty balanced attack. Say what you will about Josh McDaniels as a head coach, laughing track ensues. He draws up a pretty good game plan as an offensive coordinator. So they look pretty balanced. I think they're going to be pretty tough. On the defensive side, it's tough to say because it's only going against Justin Fields. Congratulations, Fields. You hit 100 yards passing. Not much else to say.
Not much else to say. It's the Jets. All right. So Washington Dolphins in Madrid, Spain. I mean, 2 teams that are like on the down right now, but the Dolphins just beat the crap out of the Bills. Do we actually think this Dolphins team is capable of putting together a couple wins? Because, I feel like they should win this game now, which is probably why they're going to lose because they're the Dolphins, right? So, I mean, that's at least interesting. I'm not going to watch this game. I'm not going to lie. Maybe I will if I'm up early enough and I'm bored. But, I mean, it's at least kind of interesting. Texans versus Titans. I mean, it's only interesting if the Titans win. I don't think anyone believes that. We'll talk about Bears Vikings later because that's a huge matchup. Carolina Atlanta. Oh man, if Carolina would have beat the Saints last week, they would have a legitimate shot to make the playoffs. And I feel like this is a game where Atlanta should beat them now, but who knows what kind of Carolina is going to show up. Atlanta's got a good defense. They're good against the run. That's all Carolina can do. So I feel like Atlanta should win this game. But how do you feel about it, Dave?
These are 2 teams where at some point during the season, their fan base actually had a lot of reason to be optimistic. After the first couple of weeks, you thought Atlanta was going to look great. The last time they met, it was a 30-0 stinker, however.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen this time. I think Carolina is going to they're going to have a little bit of rage after what happened last week. I think they're going to be out to prove it was as a fluke. They're going to get their running game going, the passing game. They're going to get a quarterback in the next 2 years. I think that's just what they've learned. I like their head coach, but Bryce just isn't. He took the step back. He showed promise the second half of last year, and
he did. And I don't know if I'm 100% done with Bryce Young as a starting quarterback, but I think I'm 100% done with him as an elite quarterback. And again, I never thought he was going to be elite, but whenever you're taking number 1 overall, there's always that possibility that, maybe they're better than they thought, or maybe there's more talent there. I always thought Bryce would be like a middle of the road, like kind of like a Tua guy, like a shorter guy that's accurate, that reads the field. But Bryce is athletic too. This is something I've noticed about Bryce that I don't really understand. Like, he never really uses his legs. He never changes the game by running the ball. And he's not super fast, but I feel like he should be doing that more because, yeah, he did take a step back. And I kind of agree with you. I mean, he's going to have one more year, obviously, because of his rookie contract that he's the starter there. But I kind of agree. I think if we don't see much change, I think Bryce Young is done as far as the Carolina Panthers quarterback. but they got the right coach. I feel like Dave Canales is the right coach.
Yep.
So, stick with him, even if they're bad. I think if this owner is smart, which, he has not necessarily shown that he is, but if he's smart, he'll stick with Dave Canales. All right, we'll skip.
And hopefully they also give Coker a little bit more opportunities. They took Leggett, at the top of the second round last year, and he was a 23-year-old phenom in college. He did nothing years before. And it might just be, he's just nothing, not what they drafted him to be. If they just admit that Coker has shown promise, let Coker and the Flying Hawaiian put those two on the outside, see if they can help Bryce at all. Try to resurrect second half of the year, but
because the Flying Hawaiian has already proved he's legit. Like, we're only halfway through the year, and you already know he's a good wide receiver. Like, he has shown lots of flashes of brilliance. So, but yeah, he needs someone to get him the ball. All right, now let's go to a matchup that I think is really interesting and actually really important to the playoff picture going forward. We got the Chargers at Jacksonville. Now, Jacksonville's defense was pretty good so far this year, and they just got butt whopped by David Mills, which is just embarrassing. So, like, do they recover? Do the Jaguars? I mean, this seems okay. Harbaugh teams, I hate to admit this because he's a Michigan guy and he was a Bear, so I have like double hatred for Harbaugh, right? I have like massive levels of hatred for him. But as a head coach in the NFL and in college, it's like by that second year, the team starts to take a massive step. He's done that. He did that at Stanford. He did that with the 49ers. He did that at Michigan. And it already looks like he's doing it again with the Chargers. Like, they are a good football team this year, despite all those injuries, despite the fact that they're playing no-name guys on defense. They're winning football games, man. So, like, I got to admit, I think Harbaugh is a very good coach, and I think this Chargers team is going to be a tough out. So I think they win this game. How do you feel, Dave?
Yeah, Jacksonville's defense the last couple of games, when you give up 29 to the Raiders, that's not very promising. They've been very suspect. One of the reasons why they had to get Travis Hunter is, there's DBs. There's a lot of holes in that secondary. When Travis was in there, it helped out some. When he switched over to more exclusively on offense, and they suffered on the defense, unfortunately. Yeah. So I just have a lot more faith in what Harbaugh can do with his defense. And even if you don't have the tackles that you wanted for the Chargers offensive line, even if you don't have your rookie all-star running back in Hampton, they're still able to scheme up, because remember all of the love that Harbaugh had in the offseason. And a lot of people are making laughing about it for his new quarterback. They're like, oh, man, he can't get enough of this, man. Harbaugh loves Herbert, and you're seeing why. Yeah, they have a solid 4 wide receivers on that team. He's able to lift up their tight end. You give Harbaugh a good quarterback, good things happen.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty obvious that Justin Herbert is better than Sunshine. Like, I love Sunshine. Like, I think he is underrated still, despite his troubles. I think he's still a good quarterback, but it's pretty obvious that Herbert's just a better quarterback. He just is. So, all right, now let's move on to really, really old quarterbacks and the Bengals and the Steelers. So, Bengals went and took a game from the Steelers last time. Now, this is in Pittsburgh. So, Pittsburgh beat the Colts, and then were they on bye last week? What happened last week with the Steelers? Were they on bye? No, I don't even remember. I should probably know
wasn't that the Thursday night game that was a sleeper?
Oh, yes, it was. Yes. So the Steelers need to win this game, right? The Steelers need to win this game. I don't even know. Does it matter for the Bengals anymore? Like, if they win this game, do they still even have a shot to get into the playoffs?
For their fan base, the fan base wants to see Joe come back. They want to see Burrow come back. And a lot of people are speculating if they still have a chance at sniffing the playoffs, he'll come back. If they don't, they're better off just shutting him down. And so for the fan base's sake, I think they want to win that game just so they can see him, just to see what could have been, make the last month interesting. But realistically, what Flacco's done, I don't know that Burrow can really do it too much better. He's obviously a step above, but Flacco's done well enough that I don't, unless a Burrow plays defense, I don't think they're going to do squat in the playoffs. Yeah. So. And they're still not even going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, the Chargers beat the crap out of the Steelers last week. That's what it was. And Rodgers didn't even put up a touchdown. So, yeah, I don't know. I almost want because I got Burrow on my fantasy team and it's getting to be playoff time. So like part of me is like throw him back in there so I can use him. But the other part of me is like, don't get him hurt again and then have him never play. You know what I mean? Like, So like, I think if the Bengals lose this game, they might even shut him down. They might not play him. If they win, though, there's a chance he comes back and at least they try for the playoffs, because I think this front office, if they're smart with the Bengals, is considering firing the coaching staff and moving on to somebody else next year, because even with Burrow getting hurt, they're putting up points on offense. It's just they're just bad in so many other places. I think the coaching staff needs to go. So it might be better for the Bengals long term if they just end up losing, but we'll see how this game goes. I'm interested though. AFC North games are always good, even when they're not good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even when they're ugly, they're good. So yeah, this should be a fun game. All right, now this game, Buccaneers Bills at Buffalo, seems like should be an easy win for the Bills, but they just got trounced by Miami. Like Tampa Bay is so hard to figure out week to week. Like some weeks they look unstoppable, some weeks they look terrible, but they still win a bunch of games. I don't trust their defense at all. I feel like the Bills should run them over all day, but who knows what Bills are going to show up, right? The Bills have a little bit of like what I feel like the Packers do, where like they have these really high highs and then these really low lows. They just have less lows, but they have them, right?
Yep.
And so I don't know. Do the Bills trounce them this game? Is it really close? I don't know how to feel about this game. I'm really conflicted on which Buffalo team is going to show up. What do you think?
I think that I just don't trust the Buccaneers defense, as you said. I think that Bills are going to be pissed. They're going to be at home. They're going to be nostalgic because, this is the last season in the old home before they move on to the new stadium. And I think they're just going to come out and they're just going to be pissed.
Yeah.
And so I think, it'll be the usual, or at the end, Baker can kind of pull it to within, make it a 1-score game late, but I don't think that he's going to be able to, bring him over the top. I really think Buffalo is going to dominate most of the game.
So the Buccaneers give up a good amount of yards, but as far as like points given up, they're actually decent, like kind of middle of the pack. They give up more field goals than touchdowns, so bend that don't break. So I really think this comes down to when the Bills get in the red zone, do they score a majority of touchdowns or do they have to settle for field goals? Because we know Baker can find a way to get points, right?
And Kincaid is out. I believe that the Bills running back is going to be out as well.
Cook out? Cook out,
or he is at least injured, I believe.
Okay,
but yeah, I remember seeing that their tight end is going to be out. So it's going this time of the year, you're always going to see attrition, right? You're going to see players are going to be, or teams are going to be playing without some key cogs. Right now, it's just the walking dead for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It has been all season. So for them, it's just another game. No, I guess they're.
I mean, the Bills got to win these games if they want to win their division. I mean, we'll talk about it, but like Kansas City is behind in their division. The Bills are behind in their division now. Like they have to win this game at home because we know the Bills are going to make the playoffs. But if you're Buffalo, you want home field advantage in this AFC. It's crucial for them. And they got to win this game. So hopefully they show up. But yeah, that Miami game, they were just flat. Everything kind of went wrong. Again, it's a divisional game, but the Bills are so hard to figure out this year too. They're still good though.
They are going to have the running back back, but
yeah, Cook is going to
play. Running into the gut of Tampa Bay is going to be interesting because I think that's where Cook gets a lot of his yards is between the tackles. So
yeah,
it'll be an interesting matchup.
So we got some really good afternoon games. So we've got 3 really good afternoon games. The best one being Ravens Browns. Just kidding. No one's gonna watch that. I mean, the Ravens might, if the Ravens have to win that game, but if they screw it up, it's the Browns. The Browns can beat the Ravens. They've done it in the past. So that's the only interesting thing there is if the Browns can keep it close. But San Francisco at Arizona is an interesting game because San Francisco right now is out of the playoffs. They should go to Arizona and win this game, but San Francisco has not looked good the last couple weeks.
Well, know who's coming back, don't you?
Who, Brock?
Yeah, they're getting Brock, and I believe the man who got shot last offseason. Ricky Pearsall's going to be coming back.
Whatever. Ricky Pearsall's not a game. He doesn't make any difference in the game. I'm more concerned with like which Arizona Cardinals team shows up, because this team has been in every game pretty much except for last week, and they just tend to screw it up. This is exactly what happened the first time they played. Arizona had a chance to win that game. San Francisco stole it from them. And the San Francisco defense, which started out hot, again, and I give a lot of credit to Robert Saleh for how good they were, they've started to fall off quite considerably because there's rookies, there's a lot of turnover there, and teams are starting to figure out how to attack them. And there's really only so much you can do, I feel, with the defense. And Joey Bosa's out. Fred Warner's out for the year. We called that, the first week Fred Warner was out, I was like, oh, San Francisco is definitely going to lose this game. And then their defense dominated. But then after that, you've kind of seen the cracks. So I really don't trust the 49ers defense. And I feel like Arizona is almost due like a really ugly just win that they don't deserve, because they played so well in so many games and just found a way to lose it. So I kind of feel like they might find a way to eke this one out against San Francisco, even with Purdy back. Because really, go ahead.
Oh, and I don't think that losing Marv for appendicitis, I don't really think that changes anything. Because he only caught 3 of 12 targets last week for 30 yards. I think it'll be a little bit liberating to their offensive play calling, so they won't feel obligated to try to overfeed him. It'll be just what it's been before, Trey McBride, and it'll be nice to see what Michael Wilson can do once he gets to be a little more opportunities. He's a solid wide receiver.
I think Michael Wilson's highly underrated as a wide receiver. Like, I think he is, and they don't use any receiver in their offense other than McBride very well. And they run the ball well. So, like, the Cardinals are going to run the ball and throw to McBride. Like, that's what, if Marvin Harrison Jr. is out, I don't think it changes a lot either. I agree with you. It's, can they run the football? And I feel like against this 49ers defense, they should be able to run the football. So they might pull it out.
I do like the call where this is going to be an ugly one that they finally get to win. I like
that. I kind of feel like they are owed one, right? And hopefully it's against the 49ers, because F those guys. Okay, so let's go to another really, really exciting game. Seattle at the Rams. I think Seattle is just looks like a juggernaut right now, right? But the Rams kind of do too. So this game is going to be really good. I hope this game is going to be really good. They both have great defensive lines. They both have, good quarterbacks. I think we obviously think Stafford's better. Wide receiver wise, JSN looks like the best receiver in the NFL. You could say Puka's the best receiver in the NFL. Obviously Jamar Chase out there, but both teams create turnovers. They put points up. They're kind of exciting. I don't know, man. I don't know who to pick in this one. I almost feel like I just have to go with the Rams because they're at home, but I'm going to go with Seattle because I picked Seattle to win this division. So I'm going to say Seattle takes this game in LA.
That takes some stones.
Yeah.
Now this is a fun matchup because the Rams run over the last month of the season. They've ran 13 formation 40% of the time.
That's a lot.
Which is 3 tight ends, more than anyone else. Number 2 in that span is the Steelers, of course, and they're only 18% of the time. The cool thing that Sean McVay has done, though, out of the 13 formation, is he's running the same routes, the same concepts, everything else that he runs in an 11 scheme. So he's using his tight ends. He actually has athletic tight ends, which can stretch the field, and that helps them to, get the matchups that he wants with Devontae Adams with those tight ends. The only one that's been really hurting this year is Kyren Williams because Devontae Adams keeps stealing all of his touchdowns inside of the 5. But I think, and being able to call all of those 13 formations just so that way it forces a lot of teams to go back to their base coverage with 4 DBs, to exploit the matchups you want. But now they finally go against the perfect defense that scheme just for that. And the Seattle Seahawks, Mike McDonald, he loves to have they run base nickel all the time.
All the time.
And why is that? Who do they have? Who's their stud?
Eminwari. How do you say it?
Yeah, Nick Eminwari, who can play. He's a cornerback who can play linebacker if you need it. So he's like a 4-3. He's just a cheat. Granted, it's a different role. The thing that made the 42 defense so well, or the cover 2 scream under Lovie Smith so well was Urlacher because he was a safety who played middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Now, this is more of an outside linebacker and corner, but still, it gives you a lot of versatility. So it doesn't matter whether a team's trotting out an extra tight end, whether they're trotting out 11 formation. They're able to hit people. They're able to disguise it. They're able to slide everyone else. So you have offensive versatility versus defensive versatility, an offensive genius versus a defensive genius, and it's just a whole hell of a lot of fun.
And two things, the thing about these two teams that people don't realize because their offenses have been so impressive, their defenses are good. So right now, the Broncos have allowed 15 total touchdowns, and everyone knows the Broncos defense is good, right? 15 total touchdowns, that's number one. The Rams have allowed 16, and Seattle's allowed 18. So that's 1-2, and then Seattle's tied for 3 with a couple other teams, but still, with the Packers too. These defenses have been good. And they get to the quarterback, they take the ball away, they do all the things you want defenses to do. So I really feel like this is going to come down to a defensive turnover, a defensive play, because I see these two offenses. I see the Rams offense is better. I'll be honest, with Stafford, the Rams offense is better, but I think Sam Darnold is highly underrated. JSN is unbelievable. And the running game for Seattle is still very consistent. So I really think it's going to come down to defenses. But this is just a great matchup. These are two very similar teams in what they can do offensively and defensively. So, and it's a division matchup. So this should be I don't know, this just should be the best game of the week. Now,
and I know I like to give a lot of the credit to the Colts for going out and getting their man in Sauce Gardner to be, a difference maker down the road. I really think getting Rashid Shaheed for the Seattle is just as effective.
That's highly underrated move. Highly underrated move because you're throwing the ball to Cooper Kupp, who's granted a good blocker, but not explosive like he used to be. Shaheed is explosive, man, and he can take stuff and he can run with it. So, I really like him in this Seattle offense. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh yeah, so it's the added dimension that he's going to give, and JSN has been amazing. Horton, he's still a rookie, he's still figuring it out. But yeah, so just given that weapon, because he was effective last year in Kubiak's offense, so I think he just adds another angle that's going to make it a little bit tougher on defenses. So I think for their situation, them adding him is going to be as significant as an already great Colts defense adding in Sauce. Sauce helps them out a little bit. Shaheed helps them out quite a bit, but all in all, I think the overall effect is still going to be pretty significant. I really love that move. We're used to watching the Bills Chiefs being the game of the year the last couple of years.
Yeah,
it's nice to finally see we might have something else. Granted, Stafford.
Oh yeah, I'm looking way more forward to this than I was Bills Chiefs because, dude, everybody knows the Bills are going to beat the Chiefs in the regular season and then lose to them in the playoffs. It's already premeditated. This is a great matchup because both of these teams are on the up and just very, very dynamic. So, yeah, I'm really excited about this. But let's talk about those Chiefs. They go to Denver, who finds ways to win. This is a huge game for Denver because Denver needs to split with the Chiefs so that they can make sure they win this division, right? Or, maybe they take 2. I doubt that. But this is at home. It's in Denver. Denver has to win this game. I just feel like to prove to themselves they have to win this game because we showed the graphic last time. They've beaten nothing but bad teams with pretty much bad quarterbacks all year and not done it very convincingly. Okay. So they need to win this game. And when you beat the Chiefs ugly, nobody gives a crap. Everyone still thinks it's a great win because it's the Chiefs. They're still the Chiefs as much as they're struggling this year. The Broncos have to win this game and they have to take it at home. So that to me is the biggest thing is if the Chiefs lose this game, yes, it's bad for the Chiefs, but I still think they'll find a way into the playoffs. If the Broncos lose this game, it's more are they legitimate? Are they actually a legitimate good team? Because they have a lot of wins, but who have they beaten that's any good? Do you know what I mean? So this is big. This is a big game for the Broncos.
Eagles?
They did beat the wait, didn't they lose to the Eagles? I thought they lost to the Eagles. Am I
Eagles
wrong?
Beat the Rams and then the Broncos.
That's right. Yeah, Broncos did beat the Eagles. Well, the Eagles are a good team. I will not take that away from them, but they're not the same team that they were last year. Right. So, I mean,
but this is it. The last couple of years, Broncos have played the Chiefs pretty tight.
Oh, they always do. But I'm saying it's going to be a tight game, but they have to actually come out with the W. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because right now they're 2.5 games ahead. of the Chiefs. So if they can go up 3.5 games ahead, that would be huge. And then if the Chargers, if they can win, then they'd go 2.5 games up ahead against Kansas City. This would be an enormous weekend. A lot of pressure would be put on the Chiefs. So they just have to show up, put on their A game. But that Denver defense, I don't have that much faith in Bo Nix again going against the elite defense. Cortland Sutton last year had 2 really fantastic games against the Chiefs. So hopefully they can pull that rabbit out of their head, because he almost got 100 yards in both of the games last year as an effective X. So,
and Kansas City cannot run the ball. They're going to pass a lot. And what do the Broncos do better than anyone else in the league? Get to the quarterback, right? Get sacks. So since Kansas City can't run at all, they have no running game. This is another huge advantage for Denver. In Denver, with that crowd noise, getting the pass rush going, that's what I'm saying. Denver should win this game. If they're a good, legitimate team, they should win this game. If they go to Kansas City and lose, not a big deal. A lot of people do that. It's a divisional game, but you got to take this game, Denver, to not just prove it to yourself, but to prove it to the rest of us. And yes, I know you beat the Eagles, but you beat the Jets by 2. Okay. So, I mean, at least you're not the Packers, and Packers would have lost that game, but even so, you beat the Jets by 2. You beat the Giants by 1. You should have lost that game. You beat the Texans by a field goal with David Mills, which doesn't look so bad now after what David Mills did last week, but still, you should have beat the crap out of them. So yeah, I need the Broncos to win this to see what I think they're actually at. So I do think they're going to win though. So I'm going to take the Broncos in this one. What are you thinking?
I've been riding them. Bo Nix and his 2 wide receivers. I don't really have a choice for fantasy.
Yeah,
Darius Slayton went down. I had to pick up Jameis to try to help me out. But yeah, once I saw Darius Slayton go down, I'm like, okay, I just have to go all Broncos this weekend to try to stay competitive to get into the playoffs myself. So yeah, I'm pulling hard for the Broncos. Will it into existence? But again, they've won ugly the last couple of years. It's going to be nice because RJ Harvey's finally going to get a shot to see if he can be a bell cow.
We'll see. I mean, that Chiefs defense still pretty tough, but I mean, I think it's going to be, 14-10 or something ugly, or 13-16 or something. We all know it's going to be low scoring. All right. So let's move on to another fun game. This is the last game we're going to talk about. Lions at the Eagles, Sunday Night Football, big matchup, the matchup that everybody thought should have been the NFC Championship game last year, right? Now, Detroit looks like they're on a heater. They're doing great on offense. Philadelphia looks like they're sputtering. Jalen Hurts looked awful in that Packers game. And we talked about it, and we focused a lot on the Packers issues. And yes, the Packers have issues, but Jalen Hurts missed a ton of throws. He wasn't making plays. And, they only put up 13 points. Let's be honest. Yes, he had that one nice long touchdown pass. He had that one nice pass, but he did not look good in that game. And I feel like the Eagles offense is not going to be able to keep up with Detroit's offense. I just don't think that they can keep pace with them the way that they're playing right now. But I mean, I don't know. This seems like Detroit should go in there and beat them by 2 scores. And that's not saying the Eagles are bad. I'm just saying right now, the Eagles offense it's not playing well. It's sputtering and it just doesn't look great. And Detroit's defense is good enough to hold them to say 17 or 21. I don't think the Eagles defense is good enough to hold Detroit under 30 points. What do you think?
I agree. Now, they did just come out that Laporta is going to be listed as out for Sunday night due to his back.
Sure.
But he's a dimension. He hasn't been having a great year. Jameis Williams stepped up last weekend. Sun God, of course, is great. But yeah, I don't think that the Eagles are going to be able to hang. I really like what Dan Campbell, what he called for the offense last weekend. He's holding onto the clipboard again. I really would love to see him put up another. I think they'll put up at least 28.
I think Detroit might be the best team other than San Francisco just because of scheme, but Detroit might be the best team running the ball outside off the tackle in the NFL. And if you're going to attack Philadelphia, that's where you run the football, right? You do not run up the middle against those 2 big defensive linemen. You run outside. And I feel like Detroit's going to give them problems. I just feel like Detroit's going to give them problems. I think this is going to be a Jahmyr Gibbs game.
So, what do you think? What do you think about the Eagles picking up that edge though off of the Dolphins.
Oh, Phillips from Dolphins. Yeah. Jalen Phillips is a decent pass rusher, but his run defense, I leaves something to be desired as far as.
But I think he at least might be able to force the run to go inside, though.
Potentially. I mean, he did okay in the Packers game against Zach Tom. He had 1 sack, right? But honestly, he didn't really show up much. No. He's a good player. He's not a great player, and I don't think he's a game changer for this defense. He's definitely something the defense needed so they can get to the quarterback. But I think in this game, I don't know if he's that much of a game changer, because I think if Detroit is smart, they attack the edges and they attack with their speed on the outside, use Jahmyr Gibbs. Because, dude, in that game against the Packers, there was so much space like around the linebackers on the side of the fields, and for running backs, we just didn't take advantage of it. The Packers didn't take advantage of it, or when they had opportunities, they somehow squandered them. Detroit will not squander those opportunities. I feel like they are going to attack, and they're going to use Jahmyr Gibbs as the spearhead for that. So I'm saying Detroit 34, Philly 21 would be my prediction.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right. So who do you think is going to win, Detroit or Philadelphia? You think Detroit in that game too?
Oh, yeah, I got Detroit.
Okay. All right. So those are games of the week, guys. Let's move on to this new segment we're going to run. Now, Hype's not here, but we did get his predictions in, okay? This is our new segment. It's going to be top Super Bowl contenders. Our power rankings are our top Super Bowl contenders. So not the standings, right? Not the standings, not who's going to win the division, like the top Super Bowl contenders. As you can see, Hype's got the Packers there 7 times, followed by his hometown Broncos. So pretty on brand, right? You think that's correct for Hype? We picked it for him.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Yeah, I think that's what he would put.
Micah Parsons is going to be 1, 2, and 3, and then it was going to be Green Bay after
that. Yeah, just Micah Parsons is the top Super Bowl contender. All right, so let's go through ours. So I
just want one note. Somebody's trying to hose me here because I had the Rams above the Seahawks, but whatever.
Oh, you did have the Rams above the Seahawks. I'm sorry I put that wrong. Okay, I thought you said Seahawks first. Okay, no, that's fine. Well, let's agree to that on that. Now, I just picked the Seahawks to go in there and beat them, and I still think the Seahawks are going to win the division. But in the playoffs, Sam Darnold, I don't trust him at all. I don't trust Sam Darnold in the playoffs 1 iota. In the regular season, yes, he's a fantastic quarterback. In the playoffs, I have yet to see Sam Darnold do anything, and last year he was an absolute mess. So until I see Sam Darnold do something in the playoffs, I cannot, in my heart of hearts, put the Seahawks that high, even though I think they're going to have more wins than the Rams. I think legitimately the Rams are the most dangerous team in the NFC. Sean McVay has proven he can win a Super Bowl. He's been to 2. He went with Goff when Goff wasn't good. You know, the defense is good. Sean McVay has proven himself. Stafford has proven himself. Like I said, Davante Adams is great, and that defense is the second most stingiest defense in the NFL right now. They get to the quarterback. I just think the Rams are the class of the NFC right now, even though I think Seattle comes away with more wins than them. I just trust the Rams in the playoffs a lot more. Is that what you're thinking too about Rams number 1?
Yeah, 1,000,000% right there. It's just the head coach, the quarterback, they've already done it. Davante Adams, they brought him in to take him that step up, and I don't think even they expected Stafford to be able to elevate his game this much.
My main concern with the Rams has always been health. The health of Stafford, the help of Kupp, who's now gone, and the help of Nakua, who again is injured this year. But dude, getting Davante Adams, this is one thing I'll say about Davante, he does not miss football games. Davante does not miss football games, and that is exactly what the Rams need, is someone who can stay healthy for Stafford to throw to, and it's made a massive difference, man. Like, really, it's made a massive difference, and we all know Stafford can play, and so I'm really happy that we agree, because I think the Rams right now are definitely the most dangerous team to win the Super Bowl. That's just how I'm feeling, especially with that defense, Now, I got the Lions, too, ahead of the Bills, Eagles, and Chiefs because, again, Dan Campbell and his, bite their kneecaps, roll the dice, go for it on 4th down. He's had a couple playoffs that didn't work out for him, but I feel like it could work out for him at any time. The Lions are going to go on a run at some point. I feel like they have to make a Super Bowl, and I wonder if this year, even having the little bit of adversity with losing Ben Johnson, but having a somewhat healthier defense. I know a lot of their defensive backs are hurt, but some will come back. I just feel like the Lions are almost due. And I hate to say that, us as NFC North fans don't want to see the Lions be successful, but I feel like they're almost due to get to the Super Bowl this year.
I still don't mind the Lions just because they're still the little brother that, for so long you didn't really worry about. I know that hype doesn't care for their fan base. I don't spend time online. The only Lions fan I know, love you, Boney. I know they're good people. And and until I like the head coach, I like their coach. They don't really have any head cases that I can't stand. So I like the Lions. I like their defensive coordinator. He's a lot of fun to watch on the sideline.
Yeah.
It looked like they already handpicked the heir apparent to Aaron Glenn. They haven't really stepped off, losing Aaron Glenn.
Real Lions fans are legit as hell. Real Lions fans are dope. The ones that went away when they sucked and then came back when they were good, I don't give a crap about your opinion at all. I know it was brutal to be a fan, but you just coming back on the bandwagon, even though you were a Lions fan the whole time, is BS, man. No, the real Lions fans that went there when the Lions are terrible, that have cheered for them for years, I legitimately respect and love those Lions fans. It's just that now that they're good again, all the crappy Lions fans are back. So yeah, F those guys. But there you go, Dave. I fixed it. So now you got the Rams.
Much better. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and you got Seahawks at 2. So you're feeling Seahawks at 2. That is correct, right?
Seahawks at 2. Yeah, it was a different iteration of the Legion of Boom. It's just that defense. The key to beating Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, the key to beating Tom Brady in the Super Bowl is being able to get pressure with 4, and that's what Seattle has going. Nick Emenwari, as we already alluded to before, he's a cornerback, he's a safety, he's a linebacker, he's whatever the hell you need to be, so he can be a matchup nightmare. You can try to put up whatever schema out there, and they can counteract with their cover 3, their cover 6. They have a very versatile defense. I understand the questioning how much you really trust the Seattle quarterback. But again, adding Rashid Shaheed just adds another dimension to them. I'm really excited about this team. Defense wins championships. Why the hell not?
Yeah,
I like him more than Russell Wilson.
Dude, and I feel you.
Russell Wilson's first couple of years, I'd take Sam Darnold over Russell Wilson.
The Rams are my sleeper, and I love them, but I can't trust Darnold in the playoffs until I see it. I just can't do it. So I get where you're coming from. Okay, so now you've got Patriots, I've got Bills at 3. So I still think the Bills are going to find a way to go on a winning streak, whether they win the division or not. I trust Josh Allen. I don't necessarily trust their coach, and I don't necessarily trust their defense, where I trust Vrabel a lot more. But I think when it comes down to it, I got to go with the guy that I've seen do well in the playoffs, and Josh Allen over Drake May. So that's why I've got the Bills there. I've got a lot of questions and concerns about the Bills, but just their offense, again, running game is good. Josh Allen is good, and their defense can play well sometimes until they go play Miami. I still think the Bills are a legitimate threat here. But why do you got the Patriots 3?
The commentators talked about it last night during Thursday Night Football, where they said Drake May doesn't come off as a 22-year-old, 23-year-old quarterback. They said he comes off like a 6-year vet, where he's just calm. He doesn't really get phased. Again, go back to their offensive coordinator. He schemes them up pretty well. I think their quarterback, he's actually, it's a strange juxtaposition where I think he plays to where he's mature enough, but he's also young and dumb enough to where he doesn't know any better, that he doesn't know that, this guy, this is Josh Allen and whatnot. He has all this playoff experience.
Right.
Josh Allen still hasn't been to a Super Bowl.
I understand.
That's just it. And that's where it's just Josh Allen knows how to lose in the playoffs. Drake May doesn't know how to lose in the playoffs because he's never been there. I believe their head coach has everyone where they want to be. I believe, and again, you can say Vrabel hasn't been to the Super Bowl too.
He has not.
As the head coach, but he knows what kind of a locker room you need to have for it, because he's been there as he's been a team captain and whatnot. And I think he's kind of creating that culture. Nobody expected him to be here. They're playing on house money. They got nothing to lose. They can be fearless. They can be reckless.
I agree with you. And that, I guess that's kind of why they feel a little bit like Washington did last year, even though they're playing better than them. And even though Vrabel is a pretty well-seasoned coach, I just have a few issues with some of the just the stats. Like they don't get to the quarterback very well, right? They do get a decent amount of turnovers. They do have some decent defensive backs. They can run the ball, but they haven't run it great. I mean, it's like I feel like the Patriots are playing at like top form right now. And I feel like there's going to be, before the season ends, that's going to scale down just a little bit. I just feel like a little bit of a reality check is coming. And that's not an insult to the Patriots or anything like that. I feel like you said, they've been almost playing on house money. They've been almost playing free and careless and whatnot. And I feel like a little bit of that's going to come back down to earth. So, but I still have them on here. I have them 7. So I agree with you. I think they've got a good chance. I can't put them ahead of Kansas City. I can't put them ahead of like some of these teams that I've seen do successful, or players I've seen be successful in the playoffs. Right.
Sure. But yeah, as far as the Commanders comparison, that was all predicated upon the athletic talent of Jaden Daniels, right? That was his legs. That was his arms. He was the one-man wrecking crew. And they had an old age defense, which, they played way far. They exceeded their expectations and whatnot. But I think the way that New England constructed their team, they did defense first. They brought in the defenders. Like you said, they're not getting as much pressure as we'd like to see right now, but they're still doing good enough. And I just think that Drake May is playing within the offense. He's been playing really well. It's completely different than Jane Daniels. I just get a different vibe. Jane was exciting. This one is just like, all right, they're cool, calm, and collected. This seems like it's kind of a machine firing up. So
yeah, no. And see, here's the thing. So the New England is like 14th in sacks. So they're not terrible. They have the same amount of sacks as the Packers, right? Which, again, their defense is playing well, but New England has allowed a considerable amount more yards and points just because so New England has a couple decent players on defense, but like, I don't know if they have that game changer guy. So I worry about them a little bit in the playoffs defensively, actually more than Drake May. But they're still a contender. So let's talk about we've got the Eagles and Chiefs. That's obvious. Everyone knows the Eagles and Chiefs are going to be on there. I got them a little higher. Like I said, I'm kind of going more on previous playoff experience, but I stuck the Ravens in there and I didn't put the Colts in. And I know you want to call me a Colts hater, and that's fine. I'm actually not a Colts hater. I am still a Daniel Jones hater, though. I will own that. I will put that badge on my shirt. I still think Daniel Jones is trash. And yes, I've seen him play very well. And yes, I've seen him go to a franchise that knew what to do with him and is using him correctly. But I still believe that Daniel Jones is a product of Jonathan Taylor, 100%. More so than he even was the season he was good when Saquon Barkley was blowing it up in New York, right? Like, he still has that terrible streak in him, or that like oops ball streak in him. I don't know how to explain it with Daniel Jones, but like, I would be terrified to have Daniel Jones as my quarterback. Like, you could have the best roster in the NFL at every position. And if Daniel Jones is your quarterback, I'd still bet against you in the playoffs until proven otherwise. Hopefully you do. And hopefully you guys beat the Chiefs or somebody, Daniel Jones.
Why did Brian Dable get fired?
Because he couldn't win football games. He made a lot of mistakes, dude.
He found a young quarterback who could scramble, and he had him run a lot to bail him out because he couldn't scheme up enough.
Yeah, because he couldn't scheme up enough.
And this is the second time that he did it. That's what I believe was a big part of the problem with Daniel Jones the first time in New York. That's why Daniel Jones, he had one good season, and that's why he wound up failing, because he got a little bit of gun shy. Shane Steichen, on the other hand, he's calling a balanced offense to where, Daniel Jones doesn't have to do the scrambling. He's no longer, looking around, afraid of getting hit and everything else. He's able to play within the offense. He doesn't have to try to go out and make plays. I think, and that's where I think the difference is. Dable wanted him to go out there, make plays to make his offense work. Steichen is saying play within the offense. You don't have to, try to go out scramble and whatnot. And I totally understand your frustration why you don't trust it. I just think this is a completely different situation. I think this is it's more a function of the coach finally getting a decent quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, but it's a good coach getting a good quarterback finally.
Now, hold on. I'll agree with you. I think Daniel Jones is a good starting NFL quarterback in the right system. I say this all the time. Quarterbacks are more a product of their system and their coach than they are of their own talent level, other than like the top tier guys, right?
Like Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Shut up.
I had to get it in there somewhere.
No, I just like, for example, I think Tua would be unbelievable in San Francisco. I think he would be almost unstoppable because of what he does and what they ask the quarterback to do, right? Whereas like a player like Jordan Love, who I love, do you know what I'm saying? But he has his issues. If he goes to Cleveland, he would be a train wreck. Do you understand? So like, it's all about coach, it's all about scheme, it's all about system, and it's a lot of it's about franchise. So I think Daniel Jones is a legitimate starting NFL quarterback. I'm not saying that. What I am saying though is I think Daniel Jones though has a little bit of that just I don't know what to do in this moment in him, and he makes dumb mistakes, and I need to see him work that out. And I thought maybe he did until I saw the Pittsburgh game, and then he had 3 more turnovers last week, and Jonathan Taylor had to bail him out. So, like, I'm still very skeptical about this Colts offense outside of Jonathan Taylor, right? Outside of Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, who's the MVP? Okay, now my other team that I put in there instead was the Ravens. And yes, they have a lot of problems. And yes, they've never been to a Super Bowl. And yes, they always lose to the Chiefs. But I would trust Lamar in the playoffs to win more than I would the Colts. And I know they always choke in the playoffs. The Ravens always choke in the playoffs, okay? But like, I don't know. I almost feel like out of respect, I have to put them in there because they just have this legacy of finding a way to win games. And, you know, not recently, but I still think the Ravens, with all of this adversity. So think about this, Dave. Last year, the Ravens just blew through people. They had the best offense in the league. They had a great defense. They won a ton of football games. They roll into the playoffs and, you know, they choke. This year, everything goes wrong. They have all these injuries. They're going through adversity. They have to fight every single week to make sure that they make the playoffs. I think that could be the best thing that happens to this team. And if they get in the playoffs and they're playing hot, I think they have a better chance of extending that good play this year than they did in years past, because it was almost, I'm not saying easy for them, but they just didn't have the same type of adversity. They're fighting from the ground up. And I think that's really good for them. And it could be really good for them in the playoffs. So I had to throw the Ravens in here.
That might be the most sensible thing I've heard you say in 25 years. I can't argue against it.
That's pretty pathetic. All right.
That actually really does make a lot of sense, because they're used to being up here, and you have a different work ethic. I think that absolutely is a rock solid. I love that.
All right, nice. Get your Colts off of there. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Well, that was our Super Bowl contenders. We'll do this again in maybe a few weeks. We're not necessarily going to do this every Friday just because it would be, it's kind of boring.
It's an end of quarter thing, I think.
Yeah. I feel like maybe, we'll do this, again in December next month. Okay. So let's go to the next part, which is Bears and Packers talk. Let's move us more in the middle. What's my favorite one? No, we don't want to look like Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's talk about the Bears Packers. So big game Bears Vikings this week. Now, JJ McCarthy had your number last time. That was at home, but this is in Minnesota, where we know their defense can play well. Things kind of fell apart last week, and the Bears have come back in a lot of games, Dave. Played kind of crappy, but found ways to win. Do you feel like that's going to continue this week? Do you think the Vikings have their number this year? What are you feeling about the Bears game?
This is where, I said beginning of the season that this is where it starts to become, this is the end. Because I wasn't really sure if Caleb would be able to mature enough. Obviously, our defense has been very suspect. We get the turnovers, but if we don't get the turnovers, it's pretty awful. The Athletic ran a really nice article about Dennis Allen, how he schemes them up on third downs. On Thursday, it's the defense's favorite day of practice, because they get to go in and they get to see what kind of plays is he going to bring in, what's his scheme and everything else. And it's different week to week. But he's been, he's highly regarded as a defensive coordinator. So even with the limited talent, because it is limited talent, unfortunately, on the defense. But on the bright side, at least they have to go against we'll just be kind and say a pretty young quarterback. I still don't believe in JJ. I'm still not worried about him. Congratulations. He threw for 200 yards last week. Justin Fields would be jealous.
He would be. Yeah.
Am I
That's fair.
sour at all about Justin Fields at all, ladies and
I
gentlemen?
mean, yeah, dude. Honestly, Dave, I'll tell you this. When Justin Fields came out of college, I was more sure that he was going to be good than I was Caleb because, and it's my fault for believing in an Ohio State quarterback, but like he had such good accuracy on deep throws in college. And yes, his receivers are 5 yards open, just like CJ Stroud was, just like every other Ohio State quarterback. But like his accuracy on those deep throws was so good that I didn't think he would get to the NFL and forget how to read a defense, which is basically what happened to Justin Fields. Like he doesn't throw the ball downfield, and he's got the arm for it and he's got the talent for it. And I think he's almost in his own head. Like I think the Bears legitimately broke him, and I'm hoping they break Caleb Williams. I'm praying for the same outcome. So we'll see what happens.
Well, that's one of the fun things is, I was fairly skeptical for the first 6 weeks. And then I see, his accuracy, it still isn't there. He's not placing it, but it does seem like he's starting to make the correct reads, right?
Yeah.
So he's throwing it to the right guy. And even though he might be a little bit high, a little bit low and whatnot, at least he's now recognizing, okay, this is where I need to go. And another thing I've noticed is, I think I mentioned this last week. Last year, he averaged 4 sacks a game. This year, so far, it's 1.5 sacks.
Yep.
And he kind of, when he feels the pressure, he's able to move and whatnot. And so he's able to get out, squared out. Last week, he got some pretty good rushing and whatnot. But then if you look at him, he actually kind of has tree trunks for legs. He's kind of like Jalen Hurts, where he's tough to bring down. The man has some thighs right there.
No, honestly, the biggest difference I've seen, Dave, with him when it comes to sacks is Ben Johnson, because he's got a better game plan. He's got a better system. Caleb, like you said, knows where to go, and he's missing guys sometimes, but he knows where to go. And when he doesn't see it, instead of dicking around back there, which he's done a few times this year, but way less, he just goes. He's like, screw it, I'll just run. And he won in the game last week. And the biggest thing that I hate to see is that he's a gamer. When it comes down to it, he has played so well at the end of games and done what he needs to do to get those W's. Even though he looked like crap, even though it's against bad teams, it doesn't matter. The W matters. Go get the W. And he's been doing it. And that is a huge jump for me as far as like what his potential is. I still think as far as throwing the ball, he's got a lot to work on for accuracy. Yep. He's got a lot to work on for timing still. But at the end of the day, if he's got good pocket presence and if he's a gamer at the end of the game, everything else could be fixed. Everything else can be fixed, and you guys got the coach. So now I am legitimately starting to worry a little bit about Caleb Williams and the Bears, right? But I think that's more Ben Johnson than anything else.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Ben Johnson plus that interior offensive line that we got.
100%.
Now, JJ might be able to get there next year. I don't think he's the same athlete that Caleb is. He had the benefit of the Harbaugh offense. But he still has 2 good tackles. He has the potential for a run game. The Bears' run defense isn't there where we'd like it to be. And, you have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. I think this could be an interesting game, but I do like the Bears' chances because of what Caleb has done in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going to, Dave, is I think the Vikings will be winning or around winning most of the game, and the Bears will find a way to win at the end. I mean, to be fair though, the only 2 times JJ's been good is at the end of the fourth quarter too. So it's the battle of who can suck and stop sucking the soonest, right? No. And I'm not saying Caleb sucks. I'm just saying Caleb's still got a lot of growth.
Oh yeah,
he's been reading the right reads. He's been reading the right reads and making the right decision when to stay in the pocket and when to get out, and he's not holding it. And to me, that's the biggest thing I want to see from him. He can work on his accuracy over time, right? Whereas JJ, good.
Yeah, we're seeing the growth that we'd hoped for.
Yeah. I think this is the first time after that game last week where I'm like, okay, Caleb is starting to figure out when to go and when not to go, and that's when he's most dangerous, right? So
he's potty trained.
Yeah. Yeah. But JJ I still think is having struggles reading defenses. And again, my main problem with him is he's got a good arm, but when he throws it down the field, I don't trust it. And he screwed up twice last week where he threw it down the field and just completely missed Justin Jefferson, which is hard to do. Right. And I just worry that what do the Bears do? They get turnovers, right? That JJ's going to throw a ball that he shouldn't throw. He's going to throw it in a spot he shouldn't throw. You guys will get a turnover. Caleb will go down and score near the end of the game, and that'll be that. That's just kind of how it feels like it's going to work out this week, right? So, and check this out, Dave. So, like, if you guys beat the Vikings and the Lions lose to the Eagles, you guys will be, I think, first place in the division. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Get ready for the apocalypse, everybody. So, all right. We're running low on time. Let's talk about the Packer game. So I got two things to say about this game. Number one, new coach, Jameis Winston. If the Packers get out coached in this game, and I understand, listen to me. When a new coach comes in, there's always a struggle because you don't have a lot of tape on what this guy calls or what his tendencies are. So there's a little bit of like, gotcha. Do you know what I mean? From having a new coach in a little bit. The other 98% is this guy would have been a head coach already if he should have been a head coach. You're a head coach. You should outcoach him. You should have a better game plan. If the Packers go into New York and they get outcoached and out game planned again by this New York Giants team, I think Matt LaFleur seriously is not the Packers coach next year. I think Ed Policy looks at this game. Jameis Winston is coming in at quarterback for the first time all year. They just fired their coach. A new coach is coming in, right? Jackson Dart's going to not playing. Their best quarterback, their best running back, and their best wide receiver are not playing. Okay,
their best two wide receivers.
Their best two wide receivers are not playing.
Slayton's also out.
And their defense has been really suspect at the end of games, if not overall, when they should be better. So if the Giants come out and win this game, not only that, but if the Giants come out and dictate the game to their game plan, I think Matt LaFleur is cooked as coach. I think he's cooked unless we go on some sort of winning streak, which I don't see happening. He would have to win so many games to make the playoffs. I think losing this game pretty much guarantees that the Packers find their way out of the playoff trajectory. And I think Ed Policy goes in a new direction next year. So as crazy it is to say, I think this game is huge for Matt LaFleur, not for the Packers, not for Jordan Love, not for the playoffs. I think it's huge for Matt LaFleur to see if he's actually a good NFL coach still or not. Because again, I've always been Matt LaFleur is a good coach. He needs to take the next step. I have lost so much confidence in him this year. It's almost appalling. And I am worried he's going to get out coached by who the hell is this guy?
Mike Kafka, Northwestern quarterback.
Who's smart. He went to Northwestern, right? So, yeah. And Northwestern guys and Northwestern in general has broken my heart so many times. Just do it again, dude. Just do it again.
I was going to say they'd beat the Badgers no matter how crappy their football team was. They'd beat us.
I hate Northwestern guys. Oh my God. I hate them so much. So I just would make so much sense that Kafka comes in and beats us. Like, yeah. So I'm really concerned about this game. Now, in my heart, Dave,
do you know where he was born?
Kafka is from Illinois, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's Chicago. Born in Chicago.
Oh, there you go.
Another reason to hate him.
Another, yeah. All around, Kafka can suck it. So I still, in my heart of hearts, Dave, believe that Jameis will F up enough for us to win the game. So again, even if the Packers win, I think I'm more concerned with, does LaFleur come out with a better game plan and a better style of play to get his team to win this football game? Or do we pull it out because the Giants are shitty or because Jordan Love does it at the end and wins the game on it by himself? I need to see if LaFleur is still capable of out coaching people in the NFL, and he absolutely better do it this week. So how do you feel about this game?
This is where it gets to be the whole, does he get the new coach bump and whatnot? And New York, no, you're too big of a mess. Jameis is a wild card. He might be able to mess up, but I still like your defensive coordinator. I think he's going to do fine. The main thing I'm trying to look for right now is how many takeaways does Green Bay have this season? You only have 6.
Yeah. Yep.
You guys are going to double your takeaways tomorrow or on Sunday.
I mean, we better against Jameis. So
no, but yeah, it's only having 6 takeaways is unfortunate. But I really think
it's because Hafley is so vanilla. As much as I like Hafley and I think he's smart, he's so vanilla, and we just keep everything in front of us. We rarely blitz. We don't show any exotic things. We just are trying to keep everything in front of us. And, I don't like it. the defense has played so well. They're a top 5 defense, Dave, as far as scoring and yardage allowed goes.
Yeah.
But there's just it almost feels like we're missing something, and turnovers could be it, right? And we're middle of the pack in sacks, right? We're high in pressures though, thanks to Micah Parsons, but because we play this vanilla drop zone defense.
Give respect, he's not your sack leader.
No, I know Rashawn is. I know. But like most of the time, that's because Parsons came in and the quarterback ran away into Rashawn.
Oh yeah,
a million percent. But we all know. No. Rashawn has made some plays this year. He's been all right, but he's an average to above average defensive lineman. Micah Parsons is top 2, top 3 in the league. So that being said, because we play this vanilla defense, smart quarterbacks can just dump the ball off, and they just have to be patient and consistent. The great thing about Jameis is he's neither patient nor consistent. So like, hopefully that will play into our favor right this week. But Jameis also has 354 touchdown games in that arm too. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's just that he mixes them in with 3 touchdown, 5 interception games, or 1 touchdown, 3 interception games. It's just like which Jameis is going to show up. And with our history against the Giants, dude, we lost to Mike DeVito when he was the quarterback for the Giants. Matt LaFleur lost the game to Mike DeVito, okay, at starting quarterback. So like, again, we had Joe Barry as defensive coordinator. So again, Jameis creates chaos, sometimes in his favor, most times not. If we play vanilla,
Jameis at least needed some deep threats.
Yeah,
right now, right now, without Darius Slayton there, he doesn't have a deep threat. All he has is Wan'Dale Robinson, who's
not a deep threat. He's a full slot. Yep, he's a full slot guy.
And then you got Jalen Hyatt, who
is a deep threat.
Nobody even remembers him.
Jalen Hyatt he's a deep threat. He's fast, but if we let Jalen Hyatt score a touchdown on us, we should be ashamed because he's not a great wide receiver. So, I think
if he had Slayton, if they had Neighbors, I'd say Giants. They don't, so I'll say Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm saying Green Bay 17-10. It's going to be ugly.
Oh, it's going to be terrible.
It's going to be terrible to watch. Yeah, it's going to be terrible to watch. But I'll say 17-10. Now, to be fair, Dave, Toyotathon starts tomorrow. So
now is the season. Tis the season for Love.
So Jordan Love might have a good game, and we might put 24 points up on the board or something like that. So, which would be a great game for us right now. So, yeah, Toyotathon starts. So, like, I really need to see it. But no, this game for me is what has Matt LaFleur got in his gut? Like, what can he find out to, like, take over a game and just be better than the other coach? I need to see that from LaFleur. I need to know that he has it in him still. And if he can't do it against this guy, I think he might be cooked and he might need to go somewhere else. And that doesn't mean I don't think LaFleur is an NFL level coach. I think if I was the Titans, I'd hire LaFleur in a second, right? In a second, because he's exactly what you need to build yourself back up. But my question is, can LaFleur take us to a Super Bowl? Because that's what I want. I want a coach that's going to win us the Super Bowl. And I hate to be an arrogant ass, but we are the Green Bay goddamn Packers. And like going to the playoffs is not good enough. And that's all LaFleur has done. And yes, he's taken us to championship games, but man, he has had some absolute stinkers in the playoffs.
It's not 2. Plural, is it?
2.
Oh, it is 2? Okay.
Yeah, it's 2.
But yeah, I think he's more of a Doug Collins at this point.
I feel, does he have that moxie? Does he have that drive? Does he have that like play calling skill and grit to take us to the next level? Because he coaches like a 68-year-old man sometimes.
Although, to be fair, you did have Bo Melton out there, who was your cornerback.
Oh, I know. I realize.
There's the injuries to the wide receivers.
A lot of teams have injuries, though, dude, and they don't look that bad. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, let's figure out a good game plan and let's execute. So, yeah, my prediction, Packers 17, Giants 10. We take the win this week. And if we somehow lose and LaFleur gets outcoached, Robert Saleh, come to Green Bay, please. And then hire my boy, Mikey Flavors, as your offensive coordinator. Please. Mikey Flavors.